The trailer. A short, powerful, and deceptively simple piece that requires a whole different set of editing skills. For example, do you know how to deconstruct a 4-minute music cue to make it fit within a 2-minute trailer? How about within a 1-minute teaser or a 30-second spot? What's the best way to simplify a 2-hour story into a couple minutes without leaving your viewer confused and overwhelmed? How about when, where, and how to use layers of sound design to enhance a thrill, punctuate a joke, or build suspense in a very short period of time? Some people might say, a trailer is only a minute or two in length. How hard could it possibly be? Famous last words. Hello and welcome. My name is Chris, and I'm the lead trainer here at Film Editing Pro. I'm going to be your guide throughout these next few videos. As you can probably guess, the challenges of the trailer world and how to overcome them are going to be the focus of this series. Did you know that there are editors who specialize in this unique craft? Studios pay millions for these experts to cut trailers that appeal to their audiences. But what if you need to promote your own project without a big studio budget? Fortunately, this is a skill that you can learn. To help teach you this craft, we've gathered together a handful of the world's best trailer editors. These men and women are 100% dedicated to the art of trailer editing, and they have decades of experience working with all the major studios and networks. These are the talented folks behind the trailers for huge movies like Captain America: Civil War, Suicide Squad, The Jungle Book, Me Before You, Rings, and Kung Fu Panda 3, just to name a few.
My name's Ken. I've been editing for about 8 years.
My name's Eric McCormick. I've been editing for 13 years.
My name is Aura.
My name is Sean Uyoka.
My name is Jerry.
My name is Ron Rinker. I've been a trailer editor for 15 years.
These men and women have spent a long time learning this craft the hard way, with very little guidance and almost zero learning resources. Fortunately, your learning process isn't going to be as long and painful. With their help, we've broken down the craft of trailer editing into its fundamental techniques and skills, and we're going to share some of it with you today. Alright, so in this first video, let's dive right in and look at some trailer editing techniques you can start using right away. Specifically, how to cut a trailer with style, and how to edit polished, professional montages. Let's begin. One of the keys to cutting great trailers is telling a story with style. Style, in fact, is arguably even more important than the story itself. If you show someone a trailer that has great editorial style, but a cliché or weak story, they'll still probably think the movie looks pretty good. A constant, uninterrupted stream of story information will feel monotonous, boring, and quite frankly, it'll feel like work for the viewer trying to pay attention to it. You need to pace out the story beats, and add some accents and short style moments in between. During story-heavy sections of a trailer, particularly the first and second acts, the general pattern you'll want to follow looks a bit like this. Dialogue line, moment, line, moment, and so on. Let's take a quick look at a great example of this during the first 37 seconds of the Warcraft trailer. I'll play it once, and then we'll go back and we'll analyze how the moments are paced.
For years, our world has been at peace. But something is coming. I can feel it. Dark forces are upon us.
Okay, so that's a cool attention-grabbing open that simultaneously does a good job setting up the story of the film. Let's take a closer look at the pacing. So here we've got a section of the trailer on our timeline. We've got our picture here, our dialogue here, our music here, which has the main beats marked, and then our sound effects and our sound design here. You can see that the dialogue is cut within the beats of the music as much as possible. Have a look at the cut with just the dialogue and the music. Now, the yellow sections are the accent moments. They exist in between the dialogue lines and fall nicely on one or more main beats of the music cue. Some of the style moments are very simple, like here.
For years, our world has been at peace.
where a line is delivered and then a whoosh and a hit are used during a dip to black to fade up on a new shot.
For years, our world has been at peace.
In this case, the sound design does most of the work creating the accent in the style moment. Other accents are a bit more visually engaging, like this 2-beat accent.
I can feel it. Dark forces are upon us.
Where on the first beat, we fade up on a wide shot of a burning village, accented by a whoosh, a ping, and a sound effect of a scream. Then on the second beat, we see our hero's knee come down on a skull, with another ping sound and a slight bone crunch.
Dark forces are... I can feel it. Dark forces are upon us.
Then another dialogue line follows.
Dark forces are upon us.
And of course, other accents are even more involved, like the climax of this particular section of the trailer.
Are upon us.
Where we've got an orc attack accented with whooshes, hits, and roars. Have a look.
Are upon us.
The purpose of style moments intercut with your story is twofold. First, they keep the viewer engaged and they break up the monotony of the exposition with interesting shots and sounds. And second, they give the viewer time to comfortably process the story information and understand what's going on. Remember, even in a trailer with a well-simplified story, it's still throwing a lot of information at a viewer over the course of 2.5 minutes. As with many aspects of trailer editing, use your music rhythm as a guide for exactly how to pace these lines and moments. Now, we're going to talk a bit about picture montages. Almost every trailer will have at least one, usually in the back end of Act 3. The problem is that many beginning trailer editors don't know how to cut them properly, resulting in a chaotic and confusing mess of shots. Let's take a look at some montage editing tips to help you get it right in your next piece. First, consider cause and effect. Think about how one shot might flow into another. We've all seen the classic punch or gunshot into an explosion.
The other one's a professional criminal.
But get creative with this. A dramatic head movement from a character could appear to cause a door to slam shut or lightning to strike in the next shot, like this example from the Exodus Gods and Kings trailer. Keep in mind that none of these shot combos were organic to these movies. Until the trailer editor placed these shots next to each other, these moments did not exist, but they sure work well in the trailer. Next, consider your focal point location in each shot. So what do I mean by this? Well, if your first shot has an object moving across the screen quickly from left to right, you'd want the action in your second shot to take place on the right side of the frame, where the action from the previous shot drew your eye to. Now, this isn't always possible to do, but it's something to keep in mind whenever it is possible. So, let's say you've got these 5 shots you'd like to cut into a montage or a shot sequence. Here's how you might cut them without taking into consideration the focal point location. Now, just by changing the order around a little bit, and then flopping a shot, we've got a shot sequence where the action flows much more smoothly from one shot to the next. By keeping the focal points in relatively similar areas of the frame, you're making sure the viewer's eye is tracking the important visual information quickly without feeling confused or overwhelmed. It'll also appear smoother and more enjoyable to watch. Next, consider shot grouping. Most of the time, in a montage, every shot won't be from a completely different scene. You'll have 2 or 3 related shots that play from one scene that lead into another short combo of shots from another scene. Like this example from the Jungle Book trailer. The shot groups should each tell micro stories in the montage. In the first group of 2 shots, we see a wide, and then a medium, of animals running towards Baloo and Bagheera. In group 2, we see Mowgli scaling a wall, and King Louie peering out at him. In group 3, Mowgli jumps towards a wildebeest in the first shot, and grabs onto it in the next. And finally, in group 4, we have a sequence of 7 shots from multiple scenes that all come together to tell one micro story. Shere Khan roars at Mowgli, then pounces at him as Mowgli jumps away. Bagheera reacts to this moment, though the shot is from a different scene. Mowgli's jump continues as he swings through the trees in a new scene, runs through King Louie's temple in another, and continues into the last 2 shots of the sequence as Mowgli jumps out through a window and barely escapes King Louie's hand. So in this 4th group alone, we have 7 shots from 3 different scenes that work together to create a micro story of adventure and danger that leads into the climax of the trailer. This is a great example of a montage that gets around the movie without feeling random or chaotic. So, as you can probably tell, the skills we're teaching go into a lot more detail than you're used to seeing in other training. We think it's important to give you real, hands-on, actionable techniques that you can put to use right away. Even though an editor might be very comfortable cutting long-format pieces, like films, documentaries, TV shows, and the like, many aren't equipped with the tools to cut effective trailers. Turns out, it's a completely different set of editing skills.
You really wear a lot of hats, artistically and creatively, I should say. You have to make decisions about the sound design, about the music and how the music is cut, about the copy, which is the message, the graphics and the style of graphics. You know, you are a writer and a director and a graphics person and a music person all rolled into one.
The scary part about cutting, say, a movie trailer is that you're responsible for representing the final film in a way that makes people want more. You've got one chance to entice a busy, distracted viewer and get your message across before they move on to their next tweet, email, or kitten video. Remember, with any creative content you put out into the world, you're asking people to give you something very valuable, their attention. So, if you want your stuff to get seen by other people, you need to give them a reason to take notice. And putting out a polished, focused, and professional trailer is one of the best ways to do this. In the next video, we'll be exploring the world of trailer sound design and music. We'll be teaching you powerful techniques and workflows for adding the perfect music to your cut, and then enhancing and building on it with a variety of trailer sounds. Keep an eye on your inbox, because we're going to be sending you an email with a link to the video as soon as it's ready. Before we go, I just have a quick favor to ask you. I'd love it if you could leave a comment below and tell us what you thought of the video, and also a bit about yourself. What type of editing do you do? Have you ever tried cutting a trailer? If you have, how'd it turn out? Leave a comment below. We read them all.